Welcome in, Paramay Trades. This is Paramay Trades Journal. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, BTC here. See if we can somehow find something in terms of commitment of traders. Now we'll take a look at some price action pivots. Well, we all know what's going on in the market these days. Bitcoin has suffered too. Now I don't play the Bitcoin chart, but I figured I would do this anyway. Just because I get a lot of questions about this from friends of mine and stuff like that. All right, so let's take a look. Just drilling down into the legacy report, we can see that there isn't really any information here. There's not much to work with. We did do a video previously on CoT and Bitcoin and price analysis and stuff like that, but I just don't know where they're getting this data from. And this is concerning the large speculator data to the small speculator data. It's just a mirror image, so I just don't know where this data is coming from. But if we do take a look at what data we do have, we juggled this idea before too. We're going to look at large speculators here in this area and small speculators. And what we've got is small speculators holding short positions way down here, and large speculators looking to go long. So this is the most bullish our large speculators have been, and it's the most bearish the small speculators have been in this area. And when we know what happened with this price hike up to 14.5, about 14. And if this chart data is accurate, and this this mirror image of what's going on with positions being reported, then in this area we had large speculators, which consists of managed money and other reportables. This was the most bullish they had gotten in some time. So a nice price hike. We get a nice movement here too. Some nice price movement in this area when they had gotten a little bit bullish in this last impulse leg. But in this area, large speculators were the most bearish they had been. And unfortunately, large speculators were the most bullish that they had been up at the top. So if I've had to say anything about this, I would not be following this blue line here, where small speculators are. Because when they're the most bearish, and managed money is at the most bearish here, at this top, we've got a considerable amount of price action retrace here. And then again, when they decided to find some value and take some long positions in this area, we did get some nice price action movement. But I think we have warned previously that this was not healthy to be in a long position up towards the top here, because managed money was not optimistic about it whatsoever. Now they're starting to turn a little bit here, but they were really bearish in this area. I was not a buyer. So when I was asked if I was going long on BTC, if I thought it was going to go up to 11 or 12, or even come up and challenge these highs, I was not optimistic about it because of these sheer numbers here by managed money. I mean, does this look like a nice pivot on the 3-year index? We'll have to take a look at the chart, but this doesn't look good for Bitcoin, not at all. All right, so we've got this this Bitcoin chart to work with here, and this area of market memory was, I mean, they cut straight through that, and now we're getting rejected by it. We could argue that this is a nice weekly pivot, but we haven't traded up past, you know, the 8,000 range. So it's how strong it is, I don't know. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of white space in between here. There's a lot of orders that are probably happening on, you know, in this area. Open interest is coming down a little bit. WPR is in, you know, on the weekly, you know, touched into that oversold range, but I don't know how well market sentiment's going to work for us. So the last time we found a great deal of market memory in this area, and we were looking for a bounce, and we got it. So I mean, we were, you know, 1x buyers down here, but you know, in this cluster of market memory that we blasted through and came back down and retested. But we've since annihilated that position. You know, this cluster of volume that's in here. Let's put a market profile here just real quick, or a volume profile. Oh, I already got it here. Let's just take a look. Good Lord. Well, that's quite different than what we're used to looking at. Do something in the daily here, in the 3 year. See if we can split this profile up. So heavily contested area, blasted straight through it. 2880, right? Or I'm sorry, 8280. 8280. What do we have to work with here? For bulls, I mean, this is I think this is absolute. You have to hold this line. I understand that there was a tremendous amount of sell-off going on in this area, but you know, can we pivot here? I mean, it did look pretty good. It did look pretty good for, you know, I'm sure if we show our patterns here that we, you know, there we go, we get a nice fractal working here. This is absolute. Bulls need to hold this 6,000 range. Oh, you know, that's slowly becoming one of my least favorite tools is the comparison line. Whoops, because it keeps doing this to my price range. It keeps switching it, but it doesn't switch back. This is one of those TLS annoyance things. Same thing with open interest. Open up the chart, and the next thing you know, it's in the volume area, even though you don't want it to. So I mean, there's a nice pivot there. I'll always turn off these fractals here. Ooh, I mean, look at that, right? Right into that area of volume where there wasn't a lot of market acceptance, and it came in and tagged it. It's very interesting. So this is the last node of defense, but now everything that we blasted through the overhead, there's going to be quite a bit of resistance up in here. So I think your dreams of Bitcoin moonshotting here, I mean, it can move. It can definitely move. There's a reason why Bitcoin trades so high on the initial margin here. Although it's probably, well, it's back up again. Seen this as low as about 9,700 on your Bitcoin futures. So what are we working with? How much retracing is going to happen here? So there's that, you know, here's the last bottoming pattern that happened, and let's turn this off. Let's get some clarity here. And here's your last bottoming pattern, this cluster. Here's your bottom. Here's your top. You know, one thing I like to do too is just turn off show extension, contract changes. There we go. A little cleaner to get a better look at things. So there's your bottom. There's your the top of your range, at least 100 daily time frame here. And we got that nice head and shoulder look, and then off to the races we went. So it was a nice bottoming pattern. It was a nice pattern of accumulation. But where, I mean, this is so sharp, and we don't even have, we can't even find a pattern of descending highs here that might be helpful. But it is finding support on that 6,000 range, so well, I really got to hold that. I don't know where Bitcoin is right now. And so futures market's closed here. Bitcoin's about hovering around 6280, 6300 range. And it's, you know, it's looking like it wants to turn here. So might get a little bit of gapping when it comes to the futures market. So let's look at the lower time frames to see what we can see. See if Bitcoin wants to bail out of this downtrend. See if the bulls are brave enough to, you know, keep the buying pressure up. Let's see if we can find some ranges and draw some boxes here to better get an idea of what's going on. So I would say that that reaction high was noteworthy. I think I just do this, you know, so bear with me, but this just helps me visualize where the, you know, the price action is. So I just like to kind of box these up a little bit, because these might not look like much, but once you get these ranges in here, you can see where the confluence is to these pivots that occur. So was that an important range? Was this an important area? Well, it looks like it. So we put, you know, we pivot off here, and then, you know, from swing low to swing high, this is, you know, where the confluence is again. So this is the market's way of saying, I would say, you know, an important range. Whereas in coincide with 2 is probably, you know, so 57, almost 5,800 range. So a decent amount of selling pressure going on right in this area. So this, I mean, this looks important to buyers and sellers here. Looks like there's quite a fight over this range. Where does that line? That lines up right with our market memory in the past. Right in this cluster, right in this node. I'll tell you what, they can't get up over this. And buyers are going to need to find support up here. I don't know how brave the buyers are going to be. We're going to have to continue to watch the other markets as well. And something we haven't done in a while too is just mark off where our last week open. I'm going to put our last week open in here. Where we closed, where the high was, where the low was. So here's your last week's high. Now we'll see where the fighting's going on around these levels. check the low as well. And obviously, you know, we closed here, so we'll see where we open, gap up or down. I think it's probably going to gap up a little bit here. So we closed out 59.75. It looks like we're about 8,300. So what's this going to look like next week? Bears are in control right now. Putting a lot of pressure up here. And where's the respect? So I put, I usually mark off, you know, if I found the level in 15-minute chart, I'll put that it's, I found it at the 15-minute. That's how I label those. So you zoom out to a 30 or 1 hour, it's strikingly similar how these things line up. So, so let's just take a look at this cluster too. We'll mark this off for good measure, because this could be, you know, target zone, target area. So what do we see here? What do we see? Going to need to see some brave. Well, we've already seen it, right? We've already, you know, we're looking at the live chart on BTC USDT. It looks like brave, you know, bears were, or bulls were brave enough to get in on this trend line. Let's see if I can pull this up on TradingView. Let's see where we are right now. Our 15-minute chart, yeah, strikingly similar. A lot of confluence on here, on this chart as well. So a lot of confluence here. Not a TradingView member anymore. I used to be. I love the platform, I really do. Looks like we did have some, you know, brave bulls here, but is this going to break down? If this breaks down, there could be some positive retrace going on here. So looks like we are fighting. Fighting over this area, that's for sure. That's your bottom pivot. Pivot up nicely. It's bottom of your range. That's the range we're going to work with, but if this breaks down, can they recover? There's probably a fair amount of liquidity going on underneath this, you know, this pivot right here. So we got this just about double top action going on right here. I just barely took that. Probably crush some shorts up in this area, because this was a nice little sell-off. And just funny how these things line up, right? Sideways trading. So is this a accumulation pattern happening on Bitcoin? Is this thing going to turn around? There's no pivot to speak of on, you know, on the left-hand side, except for, you know, up here. If we're looking at a you know, short-term low. It'd be interesting to see what the S&P indexes are going to do too, where people are spending their money. Well, this is the range. I'm not going to play this chart. I'm not very optimistic about Bitcoin right now. I think it can go lower. I think it can definitely go lower. See if the bulls can keep up the pressure. Obviously, we know what this looks like now, so. I got nothing. I think I'm I think I'm all charted out today. Is what's going on. Because I don't see this chart as clearly as I usually do. So it might be tiring here from all the the videos that we've done today, but I think it's a lot of pressure occurred right here, right at that pivot, and there was a little bit of a struggle to get up over that, but I really pushed it a little bit higher. Well, it's going to come to blows here. Let's see, 15-minute. Let's take this down to the 8 EMA, just so we've got some consistency with how we usually chart. And there's some wide open space going on here. What do we got? Feels like this could retrace. It really does. Feels like this is going down. I could be wrong, but this chart makes me feel like it's gonna retrace a bit. This will be the area to watch to see if it breaks down. If if this ascending high or lower high pattern gets broken down, or we get some trapped bears down here and they take it the other way anyway. I don't have much to say about Bitcoin. I thought I did, but what's the low of it last week? I'm going to do this. Yeah, here's your low. We're going to challenge the lows again from last week. I usually do these in purple. Does it matter? Gotta stay consistent, I would think. We're starting to take shape a little bit. Are we in between, in between this range now? In this area. They fought to get up there. See if they can maintain it. If it breaks down, how far down can we go? Because I'd love to be bullish down in the sub 3,000 range. that would be nice. 618 on that, from that pivot. Not a big fib guy either, but I do like the 50 to 60% range. It looks like it's just about in there, and nice turn. Okay, that's all I got to say about Bitcoin and Bitcoin futures. Oh, no, I don't want my email open here. That's all I got to say about Bitcoin futures. So when the Sunday market opens, we're gonna see, obviously some activity. But here's the area to watch: this congestion and this range that we're in here. This range high about 7,000, between 5,600. So there's probably some good money in here if we can watch the the range that's trading in. But for me, nothing too compelling. Like I said, I'm not playing the chart, but nice little pivot here. Let's even keep the pressure up if you're a Bitcoin enthusiast here. These are relatively low prices too. I mean, coming off the run up that it had just recently, up to 10.5. If you didn't sell there, certainly 3,700 looked really, really good. And these prices certainly look a heck of a lot better than that. Or are we just getting kind of a, dead cat bounce type scenario, where this is just shorts closing? Oh, for Christ's sake. And it's just bouncing off, and we're going to re-challenge these lows down here at 3,700. That's quite possible. It was a nice rip, but maybe my bias is a little too strong for this chart, because I think it can go lower. Okay, that's all I got to say about Bitcoin. That's probably a wrap for at least today. I think I'm a little worn out here with the charts, but good luck. I hope you find yourself on the profitable side of the trade, and you can make some loot on Bitcoin. But if you got deep pockets, maybe you'll play the futures here. But all right, join us on Discord if you'd like. The description should contain the URL or the server link. And just a reminder too, Discord does have a web-based app to join the community and talk about the charts with us. But they do also have an application that probably a little easier for you to connect and save the server URL, so you can stay apprised of what's going on. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for tuning in on this Saturday, and good luck on the charts. We'll see you on the next video.